Hello, how we doing? So here we are. This is now it. It's the 12-month. So what would effectively be, I guess, the final results. Not necessarily. I'm not sure it's going to be like the final video. I think we're still going to do about 6 more months of updates. But I think this will probably give you like a good indication of what we kind of expect. What we're kind of going for, almost like the final results. So I tried recording this video, and then there was this horrible hissing noise from my fan of the computer in the background. So basically it meant that I had to scrap it and do it again. So this is attempt number 2. So let's begin, shall we? And then we can do some of the talking. By the way, thanks to everyone who subscribed. We have hit a milestone, ironically enough, at the 12-month mark of 50 subscribers. So yeah, don't know how many subscribers I was really expecting, but still I'm happy, and I'm happy that you guys are sticking around. So thank you for that. Feel free to share this with people, by the way. So let's jump into the pictures, and we're going to do a lot of talking today, so brace yourself. Expecting this to be quite a long video. Okay, so we're going to start off with day 0. Just to show you what the state of the head looks like. Okay, so you can see there, that's what your state of the head will look like. Now, you'll notice the first thing is why did he go for the crown? Reason was because I was losing most of the hair up here, basically. That's where I kind of wanted to go for. You will, when you go into the surgery at 9 AM, the first thing they'll do is obviously you'll go in there and sit with the doctor. I'm speaking for Hair Growth Centre Maida Vale, by the way, not any other branches. I can't speak for them. This is only the Maida Vale branch. Yeah, you'll go in there, you'll discuss where you kind of want it done, and then what they'll do is they'll shave off all the hair. Common question I get asked is, was it painful? The most painful part of the surgery was basically the the injections that you do when you get the back of your head. So essentially, you'll sit in a face, and I've already discussed all this in a video, and I'm going to put this while we're talking actually. So wherever that will pop up, check out. That's the days 1 to 28. That has everything, instructions and all that kind of stuff. But just to kind of give you a little breakdown, you sit in one of those chairs, with the hole in the middle, and then you basically face down. They'll put the injections of general anaesthetic in the back of your head. I would say that lasted anywhere between sort of 6 to 7 minutes, something like that. And basically, yeah, that's where they'll kind of like numb the back, because obviously you need that to happen. That was the most painful part. Once you get through that, I don't want to say it's plain sailing, but you know what I mean, it's better. You can tolerate it. And it's just sitting in that chair for ages. I mean, it's not the most comfortable place really, but yeah, it's just what you have to go through. I think it's the same wherever you have to go. So it's not going to be like, oh la di da di da, but that's basically it. Okay, so I'm going to jump up to day 5 now, and I'm actually going to go through sort of like the top of the head. That's where it starts looking like, this is after a few days. You start washing it, I think on day, I can't even remember what day it was. I think it was day 2, day 3. I've said it in that video. Basically, we start washing it. That's where you're kind of just gently dabbing it at that point, just keeping it moist and just keeping it clean. So you won't be able to clean it properly until like day 14 though, so just bear that in mind. Yeah, that's basically the state of head that it looks like at the top. So you can see you've got all the scabs still, they're there. You want to be careful within the first 36 hours. Don't be all like jumping about when you get all that. Just sort of keep nice and chill, because obviously at the first 36 hours, that's when that most delicate state, they can come back out, at any time. So just be careful, be wary of that, when you're coming home. I would advise not using public transport. either find someone to drive you in, or or just get a taxi or something like that. I would advise that not getting public transport wherever you're going. So just bear that in mind. And then of course this is what the start of the back of the head starts looking like. Now that will get itchy at times. Okay, so what you want to do is you want to take antihistamines, stuff like Benadryl, anything like hay fever tablets do, and then that will stop the itching. Most painful part when you get home is when you're falling asleep for the first time, and you're basically you're gonna have to wear like a neck brace. The things that you're wearing on like an airport, when you're on the plane, like a sort of one of those neck cushions. You have to wear one of those just to prop yourself upright. That I did for the first week. So but again, all that information is in the first video. Let's move this up now to day 14. So this is the first time when you'll wash the scabs out. I've taken a picture of what the shampoo looked like on there, and you can see I actually started scrubbing out. You can see those little patches of skin there where the scabs are getting washed out. Then what you want to do is with day 14, you basically, once those scabs have basically been washed out, you have to physically use force, by the way, actually physically go and get it out. That's gonna be, I don't know, if you want to do that in the bin, because it is pretty gross. Not gonna lie. I've just washed it all down the sink, which I'm not so sure if I'm supposed to do that, but yeah, like if you're gonna just scrub it out, just chuck it in the bin, or that's because it is gross, basically. Okay, and that's what it looks like when you wash it out. So you can see there, because there was a little speck of scab there, where we went back and just redid it, so yeah, I would just take that into account on day 14. Physically rub them out with these bits of your fingers, not your nails. So your fingertips, your nails. No, not your nails, your fingertips. You literally massage them out, basically. Okay. And then day 18. So this is what the top of the head starts looking at. Now you can see there's the little bits of white substance on the top of that. That is pus. So that's the reform of the scabs. So I didn't know what that was at first. I thought it was like dry skin or something like that, but it's not. What you're going to have to do is every single time using the baby shampoo, you're going to have to physically wash that out. So that's just something to bear in mind. Okay, and then we can sort of see how we can see what we're doing there. So just literally just wash that. That's what that white substance is. I've been asked that question before. And then day 20, I'll move this up now. Day 20, so basically this is what the back of the head starts looking like. Okay, so this is, for a lot of people, quite alarming when they see this for the first time. I'm not going to lie, for the first sort of 2 months, it was alarming to me. I was kind of really up in an iron about a lot of the surgery when this happened, just because you go through this for the first time. You can see where they took out most of the follicles, essentially. We'll explain what this is, essentially, now, because I just want to kind of highlight how bad this looked, because when you get to day 34, you can see that's kind of how bad it was looking. I was quite distraught at this point, not gonna lie, until I had a few conversations with my mum and had conversations with the surgery and other clinics and stuff like that, and I was like, this is very normal. Now what that is I'm gonna literally stop the video here, and I'm just gonna go. I'm gonna throw that the whistle. I'm gonna throw that there, right? And now just pause the video, give that a little watch, a little read, because that is something called donor hair effluvium, or shot cloth, they call it more commonly. Okay. Now what that is That basically is, you know, when they're coming in and taking all the follicles out the back of your head, there is elements of trauma as a result of this. Your surrounding hairs will thin out as a result, because obviously the blood supply gets cut out, so the follicles sort of go into like a dormant resting phase, as you can imagine. So it looks pretty, wow, like, you know, shoddy. With all due respect, it looks terrible. So that's what that is, okay? So you before complaining, now this is the thing, like, I mean, I was on the verge of like complaining and all that kind of stuff, and I know a lot of people do. But what you need to do is you need to give it anywhere between 6 to, you know, 6 to about 12 months. So yeah, even now, like, there can still be some elements of recovery. For me, everything recovered by about month 10. So, you know, that's basically it. So again, don't be up in an hour and complain about surgery, and don't complain on websites like Trustpilot, because it gives these companies a bad rep, and then, you know, you hear about like stuff like horror stories when actually they haven't actually given it enough time. It's not really fair on the clinic then, you know. So that's what I would say to that. So yeah, I've covered this point several times in previous videos as well, so just bear that in mind. Yeah, don't go out and complain and stuff like that. Okay, so we're going to jump up now to day 56. I'm going to show you both areas, and this is what I mean. On the top of the head, so this, you can see, okay, so we're going to go over this kind of like element of shot gloss here as well, and you can see here you've got some spots at the top. Okay, so when you come across these spots, do not squeeze them. They are follicles that are trying to push through your skin, break through your skin. Okay, so what you need to do is you need to literally just leave it to do its own thing. The more spots you've got, probably the better actually, because it means that you've got more follicles that are going to come through. And then obviously they mature over time, so you can get anywhere between like 1 to, I've heard, like 9 hairs in some follicles, you know. So just bear that in mind. It does take time for all that to happen. So what else? I think, you know, when the second part of the operation, when you kind of like put on your front, the doctor comes in and injects the general anesthetic at the top. So that's obviously the second most painful part of the operation. Then once he's got the general anesthetic is all good and you can feed it, then he'll come in and make the incisions, which is where they'll put the follicles in. So that's where they're designing where they're going to go. So that's something else you need to bear in mind as well. You know, think about where you're going to go, because you want the best possible result that you can get. Okay, so that's the thing. So there would have been elements of shock loss that happened there as a result of that as well. But that's why you let that again take time. This is why they say give it 12 months, because, you know, it's a time thing. You know, you can't, unfortunately we don't have a magic wand that we can just go, oh, what's going to be the results, you know. Same, different mug today, I think, from the previous videos. And then I'm just going to show you what the back of the head starts looking like, so you can see, you know, at this point still a bit kind of like up in an iron about it, but, you know, we've accepted this point that we need to give it time, and, you know, quite thankful that I did in the end. You know, so it doesn't, again, it still doesn't look all that, but it is starting to get better. That's the thing. I did see some signs of improvement around here. Okay, let's jump up to day 2. It's day 300, not day 305, day 367. So when I went, so I did say around about the 8th I was going to do the updates, and then I realised actually week 52 actually coincided with what was it, it was actually the 14th of April, I think was the day. So what I've done is I've gone day 367, which is actually technically the following calendar thing, yeah. But yeah, this is just literally on the Thursday as opposed to Wednesday, so, you know, you don't see much difference in one day. That's the top of the head, and you can see there's quite a lot of growth that's happened. So in terms of how I feel about that, I'm actually very happy with the way that looks. So we can sort of like adjust that and do things now with that. So that's it's achieved whatever I wanted to achieve at the top of the head. We're also going to go over the back. So you see that's the left side. Then we have the right side. And finally, as we normally do every single month, we're going to give you the 360 in the bathroom. I'm going to let this play out for a few seconds now, just to give you everything there. Now, as you can see, we have got some areas in the front which we need to do at some point, but at this moment in time I'm very satisfied, because generally the way that my hair kind of grows, you don't really notice it. And we are using things such as hair building fibers, and this is another point as well in this hair building fibers thing, by the way. When you do have when you do have the what you call it, the the areas after the surgery that you're unhappy with, you can start using hair building fibers pretty much the moment you wash those scabs out. On the back of the head you can use it pretty much instantly, but on the you're just waiting until all that is healed up basically before you start using it. And that I would start using hair building fibers, I would say within the first 3-4 weeks I was using hair building fibers. In that time you can also use baseball caps, just anything that's going to get you through the first sort of like few months, because obviously you do need to go out in public, and like for the first sort of like couple of months I think I was a bit uneasy about kind of going out. So yeah, I would say that basically. Okay, so what do I think about the surgery? I can give an honest review about it now. I would say generally the day was, that I felt they did the best job they could. Obviously I haven't got anything else to compare it to, so I'm just going by my experience. They did the best possible job I think that they could. The surgeon that sort of was taking the follicles that I had, he had about 3 years of experience. Now I don't know if that's how it would be for other people, other surgeries and other clinics, but that's what he did. He was 3 years in. I would say do your research before going to any clinic. Make sure you can see before and after photos of every single, pick a few of them. Okay, now I went with International Hair Studio, and that was literally the first option I saw. That to me it was all to do with the price and all that kind of stuff. In hindsight I should have probably done a bit more research, but as a result of me doing this and realizing it was a hair growth center, after a while then I was like, okay, well there's not much on this place, so it's probably a good thing that I'm going through this. And as you can see guys, for the money you pay, I think it's good for the money you pay. I think I got a fairly good result, I think, as a and it's still, we've still got a few more months to go. And that's another point as well, when you're doing the temples, that is gonna get to the point a lot quicker, get to the sort of the results a lot quicker than your crown, because it's all to do with gravity and stuff like that. I've seen pictures where 6 months is actually a pretty good indicator, but even then you're sort of waiting for those hairs to sort of like mature. So remember, it's different for everybody, but from what I've seen pictures, 6 months tends to be sort of like a good point, to sort of judge. But just do your research is all I say. Do your research. Make sure you're checking out different companies. Do you want a really good doctor? If you can wait if you can wait a little bit longer, and save up a little bit more to go to more surgery that's a better fit for you, then do it. Because when it comes to stuff like hair transplants, you want it to be good. So you want the person to do the best job that they can. So I would definitely say do your research before looking at clinics, just because mine is cheaper, check their before and after photos, check how experienced the doctors are, how experienced the surgeons. That's stuff that I should have done and I would do different now, which is why obviously I'm quite glad I did the crown, because now when we do the front, we know what we're kind of looking out for. So I probably won't. I'm almost confident I'm not going for another surgery at the hair growth centre. We'll be looking at places like the treatment rooms and stuff like that. I don't think there's going to be any going abroad for me. I'm willing to sort of save up a few extra thousands and get it done here but again, we'll be doing some research before we decide to take that final step. And also, okay, so I've been asked a question a lot, so what are we doing in terms of minoxidil and finasteride? We are not taking finasteride. I've heard stories where you don't even know what it's going to do to your body until you take it. I mean, that's fine if you want to take that chance, but for me it's not really something I find very appealing. So we are doing the minoxidil. We've got it from a company called Hims. I found that was a cheaper option. We were using International Hair Studios, but for me it was a cheaper option. Minoxidil is minoxidil at the end of the day. You can get it anywhere, They did give me this saw palmetto stuff though, which we are buying, and that is supposed to be a natural DHT blocker. Whatever we're doing, even like these sort of like vitamins, vitamin D, and these multivits, we take them on a day-to-day basis. So for me, everything that I'm doing, I've seen lots of, there's been significant improvements. And then what we do is we put the hair building fibers to sort of top it up. So for me, I'm actually very, very happy with the state of my hair. Like, I don't even think about it now, and I can go out and style my hair and stuff like that. And for me, I'm in a good place with it. I don't even think about it anymore, which is why I don't really think it's only think about it as well. Like, if you want your hair transplant to be the very last option, so I would say to you, think about, is that really the route that you need to go down? I mean, just try the hair. They call it hair restoration. That's and then you've got hair. What's the term? You've got hair. When you need to sort of just keep what you've got. So it probably makes sense to just try and keep what you've got at the moment. And even after you do the surgery, you still have to upkeep your hair. So obviously my hair was in a state where I could do a hair transplant, and I would highly advise that. A couple more points. So obviously stuff to do with the laser therapy. When I first did laser therapy, now I've done a video, I'm going to link that somewhere around there, it'll pop up. Make sure you check that one out, because for me it was a game changer when I first came across it. And when we get a little bit more money, there's chances are I might decide to do it again. So we will see about that. In regards to what else, there's also a video that I've done where I've answered people's questions, so check that one out as well. That's all I've got. We're going to see how we go with the updates. Probably do a few more videos with updates, probably about 6 more months worth of updates, I think, and then that'll be the full 18 months, and then that'll be like everything, and then you've got a proper indication. But I think today you can see there's been a significant boom, especially over the last sort of 3 to 4 months. I've noticed there's been the hairs are starting to mature and all that kind of stuff, and it's starting to look it's starting to look very natural. A lot of people can't tell that I've had a hair transplant, but I've had a lot of questions about it. So and I didn't know anyone that did it either. So for me, it was a completely new experience. I didn't know where I was going, didn't know who to ask, but these things you do sometimes by learning. So yeah, I would say you make your own judgment whether you want to go to the hair growth centre. For me, I don't regret it. I think they did the best job that they could, and I'm quite happy with what I've got. So the only thing I would say is I wish that they'd spread out the follicles where they took it out from the back of the hair a little bit more than just, because I noticed when at one point when I was sitting there, he was literally just kind of taking them out of the same place, like, and I was thinking at the time, like, that's quite a bit. So I would have probably preferred if he had gone down a little bit, because so they're very thick around here now. Like that bit at the top, you can see where they took it out. It's sort of very, like, it looks a lot thinner now, and then at the back here it's just like it's quite thick. So I have to get that all the time trimmed down now, you know. So I would probably say, if yeah, I would say that really. I would also say they don't promote their results like nearly as much as they should. Like they should definitely promote more of the final, you know, before, and then 12 months later they should do more of that on their YouTube channel and all that, because they don't. So I think their promotion is quite poor actually. But you know, if they had more people from, and then even the pictures on the website, they're quite like tiny, so you can't really see them. So I would say if you are watching this and you're from the hair growth centre, I would say you probably need to make your presentations a little bit better, because obviously it'll give people a better indication and feel more confident. But yeah, you can see obviously most of the reviews on Trustpilot quite positive as far as I'm aware. You've got a few people that say from the first month, oh, they complain about surgery, but that's why I say give it some time before you complain. So that is everything I've got for you. That's my honest account of the day. That's my honest account of how I feel about it. Yeah, just, you know, now you can make your own decision, I think. But yeah, we'll keep just doing the pictures and things from it, and then we'll see where we go with this channel. So that's all I've got for you guys. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for watching. Thank you for all the comments. I've had both sides of the comments, which have been very interesting to read. And if you've got any other questions, don't hesitate to ask, because that's why I'm here. You know, there aren't many sort of videos to do with this, so that's why I've done it. And this is definitely the longest one I've done of the updates. So told you to brace yourself and enjoy the rest of your April. We'll be back in May for the 13-month update now. Yeah, it's crazy. No, it's been quite a journey, to be honest. For some people more traumatic than others, but yeah, it's been interesting reading the comments, to say the least. Anyway, I'm gonna go. Enjoy the rest of your day, evening. If you've got any questions, don't hesitate to ask. Okay, and I will catch you soon.